Welcome back, trainers, and today we're going to be talking about Ursaluna. This beast of a bear is awesome, and we're going to talk about what you can do with it today in today's video. So it is going to be a ground normal type Pokemon, good typing there for us, and you'll see it's got some really great stats and then some stats that, well, aren't so great. But the nice thing is we don't need the stats that aren't so great. So starting with its defenses, we've got defense at 105, special defense at 80, 80 kind of that mid-ground, not great, but not terrible. Attack is going to be 140. It is going to excel at physical attack and hit everything like a truck. Its HP stat is going to be 130, so it's got a lot of bulk. This thing has the good defenses, and it's got a good HP stat. Now, its special attack is 45, and its speed is 50. It's okay that the speed is 50. We can easily put this on a trick room team or a speed control team, and we'll be fine, especially if you've got something on the field maybe that's using Follow Me or Rage Powder or whatnot. Special attack, don't need it, especially when we've got the 140 for the physical attack. Now, it has 3 different abilities: Guts, Bulletproof, and Unnerve. Starting with Bulletproof, basically it's going to make it so Ball and Bomb moves won't attack you, so Sludge Bomb, for example. Unnerve is going to make it so all opposing Pokemon on the other side of the field are not going to be able to consume any of their held berries, like a citrus berry or something like that. So it kind of stops that, and that kind of has its own nerve, but we're really going to be focusing on Guts because Guts is where this Pokemon shines. Now, Guts is going to make it so that if it has a status condition, so burned, poisoned, paralyzed, your attack is going to be increased by 50%. And you're not going to lose any attack due to the burn if it's a burn that you have. So this is going to be fantastic for you, especially with some of the moves that we're going to be pairing it with. Alright, moving on to resistances and weaknesses. It is going to have 2 different resistances, and it is going to resist poison and rock type both by 50%. So it's going to take half damage from both of those. However, it is immune to both ghost and electric typing. So 2 immunities plus 2 resistances, that's pretty decent. However, it does have 4 weaknesses. So it is going to be weak to fighting, water, grass, and ice types, and it's going to take double damage from each of those, 2x damage. So when you look at it, it's got 4 and 4 resistances and 4 weaknesses. That's a pretty good balance, not too bad. Plus with Terra typing in the mix, we can really do some fun things. Alright, trainers, moving into moveset number 1. This is going to be the most popular moveset that's out there right now. It could obviously still change, and every season things are going to change, but this is what the one is as of the time of making this video. So let's go ahead and take a look. We're going to have Terra Ghost type. EV is going into 236 into HP, 180 into attack, and 92 into special defense. So we're working on our bulk just a little bit here, but also supplementing some EVs into our attack so that we can hit even harder. The moveset is going to be Facade, Protect, Earthquake. Now you could substitute Earthquake for Headlong Rush. If you want to hit everything on the other side of the field, Earthquake is the way to go. But if you want a single target with heavy damage, it also will result in a stat reduction for defense and special defense of the Pokemon you're hitting, then Headlong Rush, the specialty move for Ursaluna, might be the one for you. I personally like having Headlong Rush in this. He pretty much one-shots anything that he hits, and that's a good thing. So I like having the Headlong Rush. Earthquake is also very, very good, but if you have a flyer out and like a Grimmsnarl, well, then you're going to miss the flyer, or something would levitate, and it's just beneficial to have Headlong Rush in that situation anyway. The other attack that you can have is Swords Dance. Not really attack, it's a sport move, but it can boost you up to that +2 and make you absolutely ridiculous with damage. You could also put on here Bulk Up. That'll give you your +1 defense and the +1 attack. And honestly, I like using that, but we'll get into that build next. Ability, Nature, and Item. Guts is the one we're going to be using here. For the Nature, we're going to be using Brave. Brave is going to raise our attack but lower our speed, because obviously we're in a Trick Room team and we want to make sure that our speed is going to be as bottomed out as possible, so that once the Trick Room is enabled, we can have the speed priority as much as we can on our side of the field. And if you notice a difference in the tone of the voice and everything, it's because the original recording, I had to make a quick edit as there was a bunch of noise that went off and I didn't even realize it because it was on the Go XLR under something else. So FYI, that's why it sounds different. Back to the rest of the video. Now, as for the items, Flame Orb is really the way to go, but you could also supplement that in for the Choice Band or Assault Vest. Now let's talk about it. So Flame Orb, you're holding it, and that's going to burn you at the end of the first turn that you're out on the field, right? Well, when that happens, Guts is going to activate. Your attack will not go down. Instead, your attack will go up by 50%. And then Facade, if you're using Facade, it's going to double its overall power to 140. And now you're doing a ridiculous amount of damage with Facade in your next turn. Same thing with Headlong Rush. It doesn't double the damage on Headlong Rush, but your attack stat still raises. So you're going to do a crazy amount of damage with that as well. So what I like to do is in turn 1, knock out that Swords Dance or Bulk Up, raise your stats up, and then the next turn you just start obliterating everything on the other side of the field. Now, if you want, you can go ahead and put a Choice Band on because the attack stat on this Pokemon is crazy, and just focus on Facade or Headlong Rush, whatever you feel is the priority at the time, or Earthquake, and just do crazy amounts of damage, and then maybe somebody messes up and burns you. But I think the chances of somebody burning you on purpose with like Will-O-Wisp is pretty low because everybody's going to be aware of that Guts ability, and they don't want to give you that even extra damage out. Assault Vest obviously going to work on your kind of lower defensive stat, the special defense there, but it's going to stop you from being able to use Protect, from Swords Dance, and so on and so forth. So you want to just keep that in mind. Like I said, Flame Orb really is the way to go here. Now, as far as the top 4 usage teammates, we've got Cresselia, Fluttermane, Iron Hands, Heatran. So we've got Trick Room Setters, we've got Great Offensive, we've got Iron Hands, which is just always great, Heatran, which is awesome. So these are 4 solid teammates that you can put in with this Pokemon to do just a really good setup, damage, and everything. All right, moving on to the next set here, we're going to go with a Terra Normal type. That's not going to do a crazy amount for our resistances, but it is going to boost our Facade damage, and so our stab damage essentially. So what we've got here for the stat spread is going to be HP 148, attack 124, defense 16, just a little bit into that. Special defense 220, so we definitely worked on our bulk a little bit here. The attack is still high, but not crazy high. But for this Pokemon, it doesn't matter. It's still going to be enough to pretty much one-shot everything that it can hit. That being said, moveset, we've got Facade, Protect, Headlong Rush, and then the 4th is really up to you. I actually really like using Bulk Up. I don't see the need for Swords Dance. I've pretty much dropped almost everything in one hit with just one Bulk Up. But if you want, get the Swords Dance on there. I like the Bulk Up because it gives me the +1 to attack, but also to defense. If you are finding you're running into a lot of ghost types that are causing a problem for you, throw on Crunch or another move that can do damage there. You can also do Drain Punch. That way you're hitting things, but also getting some HP back, or even a close combat. But I do like Facade, Protect, Headlong Rush, and Bulk Up here. Now, ability, nature, and item, we've got Guts again, Brave again, and then the Flame Orb. Again, you can do Choice Band or Assault Vest. Just be careful with what you're doing and how you're pairing that with your moves. But I really just kind of prefer the Flame Orb for this Pokemon most of the time. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at this last moveset here. Now, this one's going to be more of a bulky moveset. We are going to go ahead and throw an Assault Vest on this one. You can still use the Flame Orb, but Assault Vest to boost our special defense. That is our weaker of the stats, of the defensive stats. So we're going to boost that up. And let's take a look at the EV spread here. So HP 252, defense 216, and special defense I'm only putting 36 because we are going to get a huge boost from the Assault Vest, and I want to make sure that we're also physically tanky as well. The attack is what I put the last 4 into, but you could put that into special defense or whatever you want. For the moveset, continuing on with Facade here, but I'm throwing in Drain Punch. That way we can keep ourselves up a little longer while still doing some damage or chip damage, depending on what we're attacking. Since we're using the Terra Ghost typing for this build, you could throw on for your 4th move, Terra Blast or Shadow Claw. Shadow Claw, a little bit less damage than Terra Blast, except it has a higher crit ratio. Terra Blast will give you a consistent amount of damage for your Ghost typing. Or you could throw on Crunch, but really, I just kind of like having the Terra Blast for this build here, so I know what damage I'm going to be doing. It's reliable and it's easy. For ability, nature, and item, we've got Guts again, in case you do get burned somewhere, but Sassy for the nature. That way we're working on our special defense, still lowering our speed down, so that if we are in a Trick Room team, we can we'll have the priority that we need to have once Trick Room is enabled. Assault Vest is going to be the item I'm going to throw on here. If for some reason you have something else on the team using it, then maybe your Flame Orb. But if that's the case, you might want to work around your moves again and maybe use your Swords Dance or whatnot so that you can work this as a very physical threat on the field. So So guys, to sum it up, Ursaluna rocks. I mean, this thing is awesome. It does so much damage. And like I said, I've killed teams of all legends, and I've killed teams that were Trick Room, that weren't Trick Room, the Tailwinding, everything you can think of. This thing has been awesome. It's been a lot of fun to use, and it's going to be a permanent resident in some of my teams for a while, I think. So you should definitely consider using it too. Other than that, if you have a cool Ursaluna build that you think is awesome or some good teammates for it, put it down in the comments. I'd love to see that stuff. And if you have any questions, put them down there as well. I'll reply back. Otherwise, if this video was good for you or you enjoyed it, please drop a like and subscribe. Definitely helps the channel out. Otherwise, I do look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. But until then, take care.